come that often, huh? Yeah, I can understand that. Not surprising. All right, do I have any volunteers to? Joshua, you're not doing that. That's the problem with this. Put it away. Put it away. Open us the door. How about that? No, I think we're good. We actually have it. Hopefully they'll come. They usually come as soon as the end. Joshua, keep on. Keep on. I need a volunteer. Linda. I need volunteers, Linda, to light candles, unless there's someone else who wants to join her or take the job. Hey, if I have to put your hair,
Oh, we get the lighter again.
yes, we do, but I can help.
Okay.
I think that was a better one though.
At least it was supposed to be.
Oh, see?
Ooh, ooh,
It was.
ooh.
I replaced it with, from Yamaha Showa, I took a different one from the box.
Okay. Let's see if I can find where the wick is.
Yeah, you did it.
All right.
We rise. Able to. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Thank you for doing that. All right. Well, we're going to get going somewhat on time as we turn to page 5. Is that a good place to start? What do you think? Lenore parked in the rabbi's parking space. I told her she has to, if she parks in my parking space, she has to lead the service. You want to just call pages from down there? I'm glad you sat parked there. You're fine. I'll even call pages for you, okay? How about that? I will tell you what, I'll lead. It's okay. I figured you appreciate that. In any case, Shabbat Shalom, and we are here on a Friday night, and we're getting towards the edge of spring into summer, and I'm happy you're here. The way the skies opened up and it looked black earlier, I said no one will be here, and you all surprise me. So thank you for navigating whatever raindrops you might have been trying to avoid on your way over, and I will say please be careful going home when you navigate home. I know there's showers still out and about. And if I have to separate you like school, I will. Sit another one back, please. Sit another one back. Excuse me while I discipline my children. Not the usual, but I will do it. Okay, page 5. We join together, and you all will sing from here. Can you do that? Actually, you come up here. You need something to do. Come here. Yeah, you, little one. Bigger little one. Come here. You're practicing for your bar mitzvah. You got a couple years out, so let's do it together. Page 5 as we join together. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaShared, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu ni l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. Seitchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh, Baruch Hu. We turn over to page 11, where you'll find the formal beginning of Kabbalat Shabbat as we join together. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina, l'Adonai. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina, l'Adonai. Naria, Naria, litzur yishenu, nikadma fana bitoda. Naria, Naria, litzur yishenu, bizmirot naria lo. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina, l'Adonai. Lechu neranina, lechu neranina, lechu neranina, l'Adonai. We conclude over on page 12 by the arrow. Arba'im shana akud bidor va'omar amto elevav heim v'heim lo yadu derachai asher nishbati v'yapi im yevaun el menuchati. You'll kindly turn to page 14 by the arrow, where you will find Yismechu Hashamayim. As part of the 96th Psalm, we join together. Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, umelo, oh, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, umelo, oh, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tagel haaretz. Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, umelo, oh, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, Yihiram hayam, umelo. Ya'alo sadai v'chol asher bo, az yivrananu kol atzei ya'ar, lifnei Adonai kiva, kiva lishpot ha'aretz, Yishpot tevel b'tzedek v'yamim b'emunato. turn over to page 19, where you'll find the selection on the bottom half of the page. On the bottom of page 19, you'll find the English reading. Blessed is your coming, if you'll read with me together on the bottom of 19. Blessed is your coming, Shabbat. Blessed is your coming. Bring with you rest and peace following a tumultuous week filled with so many demands. Bring the space in which, with others and alone, we can shape an infinity of dreams. Bring the hour of forgiveness in which to hear the pounding heart of another human being. Blessed is your coming, Shabbat. Blessed is your Creator. Blessed is your light. Amen. We turn together to page 20 by the arrow. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'hishtachavu lehar kodsho. Page 21. We join together in the singing of the 29th Psalm. If you're able to, as always, if you'll please rise as we join together, searching for God's voice, Kol Adonai, in the world around us. Page 21. Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, havu l'Adonai kavod va'oz, havu l'Adonai kevod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, kol Adonai amayim, el hakavod hirim, Adonai amayim rabim, kol Adonai b'koach, kol Adonai behadar, kol Adonai shover arazim, vayishaber Adonai et arze halvanon, vayarkidem kemo egel Levanon vesirion kemo ben re'emim, kol Adonai chosef lavotesh, kol Adonai yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, kol Adonai yecholel hayalot, vayechesov ye'arot, uvechalo kulo omer kavod, Adonai lama bu yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai os le'amo yitain, Adonai yevarech et amo hashalom. You are welcome to be seated. Not you. Page 23, you will find Lechadodi, our hymn welcoming in Shabbat as a bride or a queen into our midst. We'll do the first two verses on 23, the middle verse on 24, and the last two verses on 25. And as we get to that last verse, you see the note, we rise and we'll turn towards the entrance as the door will magically open. Somebody will magically open it as, not yet, sit down, as we welcome in the bride or queen of Shabbat to our midst. So we join together, page 23. Lech Adodi likrat kala p'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi likrat kala, pene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Hishmianu el hamyuchad, Adonai echad, Ushemo echad, L'shem ol tiferet v'litila. Lecha dodi dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechuven elcha, Ki mikor habaracha, Mehirosh mikedem nesucha, Sof maaseh b'machshavat tchila. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, Kiva orech kumi ori, Uri, Shir Daberi, Kevod Adonai Allah Yechnila. Lecha dodi dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Middle of 25. Yahaminu semot tifrotzi, V'et Adonai ta'aritzi, Ahal yadish ben partzi, V'nismecha v'nagila. Lecha dodi dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Bohi v'shalom hateret bala, Gam b'simcha u'b'tzahala, Toch emunei am segula, B'wichala. Lecha dodi dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. You're welcome to be seated. Page 27, you'll find the Psalm for Shabbat as we join together. Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Ulezamer leshimcha elyon, Ulezamer leshimcha elyon, Lehagid baboker chastecha, Ve'emunatcha baleilot, Alei asor v'alei navel, Alei higayon bechinor, Mizmor shir leyom hashabbat, Tov lehodot l'Adonai, Ulezamer leshimcha elyon, Ulezamer leshimcha elyon. Ki simchtani Adonai b'folecha ma'aseh yadecha, le'imad gadu masechana. Page 28 by the arrow. Tzadikat amar yifrach, ke'erez balevanon yizkeh, shetuli Avot Eloheinu Yafrichu O Jenu Hovun Beseva Deshenim Verananim Yihu Lehagid Ki Ashar Adonai Zuri Velo Avlataba. If you'll read with me page 29 on the far left, our interpretive Psalm 93, interpretive translation. We join together, far left on the small print. Entwined in worlds, enwrapped in glory, you are. So has it been, and so it is. Eternally, you are. Waves pounding out their song reach up to God from their depths. For the song of the sea, beaten to the sound of the breakers, tells of God within. These are proof enough for the faithful that you are the Lord of time. Edo techanemnu me'od lehavetcha na'ava kodesh Adonai liorech yamim. Those reciting Kaddish Shatom, our mourner's Kaddish, you'll find it over on page 30. Those reciting, you're welcome to rise and join with. Divrach hirute v'yamlich malchute v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach leolam olamei omaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imru amen. You are welcome to be seated. So we haven't done a story in a while, so I've got one for you tonight, but it, as always, is either something that uplifts us in general or has something to do with the Torah reading. So this one definitely connects to our Torah reading, because this Shabbat we study the portion of Tazria, Metzora, actually a joint portion of both of them together. And this is not an easy portion, because in it we find rules concerning tzara'at. And if you read the text, you're like, what's tzara'at? Well, it's commonly referred to as leprosy. You know all this, right? So leprosy, or some kind of contagious disease that requires us to quarantine. And what would happen is a person afflicted with tzara'at, deemed afflicted with it, was considered to be in a ritual state of, or a state of ritual impurity. And the priest would then place the person in quarantine until the disease was healed, and there could be these purification rites that could be performed. Now, why is that important in terms of what do we deal with? Because modern scholars and doctors in particular look at it and say, this is not leprosy, what's being described. It just doesn't fit. And certainly we know, because what's being described can invade your home, the walls of your house, your clothing, other things that have nothing to do with medical pieces. So the rabbis come creatively to create a linguistic similarity of the word tzara'at and the Hebrew word of the word metzora, which is the name of the second portion that's, again, studied together with the first one this week, metzora, right, and Tazria and metzora. And they come up with the Hebrew phrase, motzi shem ra, one who gossips. So the rabbis considered basically this tzara'at, this leprosy or whatever it really was, to be a punishment, right? And what was it a punishment for? For the sins of slander and malicious gossip. So just as leprosy we know can be highly contagious, what do we know about gossip? well, that too can be pretty highly contagious. And once it's going, it can be like a wildfire that damages anyone who comes in contact with it. So I'm going to share with you a wonderful story from Jewish folklore that just talks about the case of somebody who may have had the plague of tzara'at, a person clearly, inflicted with it, whose behavior reflected several of the 7 categories that the rabbis consider within this tzara'at. I'll read them to you really quickly. The categories are having haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood in secret, a mind that hatches evil, feet that are quick to do wrong, a witness who testifies falsely, and one who incites brothers to quarrel. These are all part of the tzara'at that our rabbis and priests before them deemed connected to these behaviors connected to this affliction. So here is a story called The Wicked Tongue. So hundreds of years ago, there lived a man named Shmuel Hanagid. And by the way, he was a real person. And at the time when Shmuel lived in Spain, the Muslims ruled the land, and and all went pretty well for the Jews, actually. In fact, Shmuel had become advisor to the king, which is a pretty good role for a nice little Jewish boy to do, right? Now, many people would wish that he could hold such a prestigious position as Shmuel had. You all say, hey, I want to do that. And some wanted it so badly that they were quite envious of Shmuel. So what would they do? Well, they'd insult him behind his back. And they would spread rumors around the city of Granada that Shmuel was out to actually harm the king, not help him. And of course, Shmuel would give bad advice to the king, or that Shmuel was looking out only for the welfare of the Jews of the city and neglecting the rest of everyone else. So basically, drumming up hatred against poor Shmuel. And in particular, there was a merchant who sold goods from a little shop just outside the palace walls, and he had heard of the rumors about Shmuel, and he, unfortunately, believed all of them. So he really hated Shmuel, and he blamed him for everything that was going wrong in the city. So basically, poor Shmuel became a scapegoat for everything, every problem there was. Each morning, when Shmuel walked to the palace, he would pass by this merchant's shop. And as he went by, the merchant would run out of the shop and shout insults at him. And would do this follow him all the way to the palace gate. So he would harass him. Well, one day Shmuel went out for a walk with the king. And on their way, he happened to pass the merchant's shop. And as always, as soon as the merchant spotted Shmuel, what did he do? Well, did what he always does, right? He rushed out, and he screamed insults and accusations. Now, he was so angry and full of hatred that what did he forget to notice? Who was with him? The king, right? But the king noticed the merchant. So arrest that man, the king called to the guards that accompanied him. Throw him in jail until I decide what to do with him. Now, sitting in his prison cell, the merchant was no longer angry. Instead, he was very frightened. And he imagined that the king would order terrible punishments to be put upon him. Perhaps he would even have his tongue cut out, cried the merchant. The more he thought about it, the more sick at heart he became, and tears started rolling down his cheek, and he began sobbing for a while. And what was the king going to do was all he could think about. Shmuel, my friend, since the insults were directed at you, said the king, I will let you command the punishment. In that case, replied Shmuel, I ask you to release the merchant. Release him? The king could not believe what Shmuel had asked. Why should I release a man that is so full of hatred and that has directed his anger towards you each and every day for so many years? I should be nice to him? I should let him go? Well, my tradition, says Shmuel, teaches that one who seeks forgiveness must first learn to forgive. If I cut out his tongue, what will happen? I would only confirm the terrible impression that he has of me and give him a reason to hate me all the more. So let him have a reason to respect me, and that he can learn for himself that lesson. So the king did as Shmuel asked, and when the merchant was told that Shmuel had requested his release, he of course was overjoyed. Went home, and the next day, when Shmuel passed by the shop on his way to the palace, what do you think the merchant did? Well, he rushed out and began shouting in Shmuel's direction. This time, though, instead of shouting insults, his voice was full of praise and respect. And in fact, the merchant spread the word of Shmuel's wisdom and compassion all over Granada. So months later, the king, who spoke with Shmuel about his act of forgiveness, and Shmuel said, and told him what had happened after the fact. And so the king said, once again, Shmuel, you have advised me well, and I wish to have, I wished to have this man's tongue cut out, but you showed me the way to replace his wicked tongue with one of respect. Such is your wisdom, and for that, such is my blessing because of it. It's a nice story. It is actually adapted from folklore, but again, Shmuel HaNagid was well known in his time and place, and even after, for his wisdom and for his leadership. And it's a wonderful tale, I think, and I think it's a creative version of the message that's really hidden behind the Torah's understanding of Sarah, right? That reminding us of the power of forgiveness, certainly, but the ability that each of us has to change our behavior, that when we are better not to gossip and to do things that bring people down, but rather we bring up and raise up with our language, our thoughts and our actions. That's what our job is. And of course, that's always a tall order, especially in our climate today. I don't have to tell you, just turn on the news and you will see how difficult the idea of uplifting can be in today's world. That language that is positive, we don't see it quite as much. And it is certainly a tall order, but it is worth working for, I would certainly argue, as we seek to create a community of holiness. So keep the story of Shmuel HaNagid from our Jewish folklore in mind. And as we go through the parashah this week, this Shabbat, really, think of Tazria Metzora, and when you do pick up a Chumash or you come across this foreign thing of Tzara'at, think about it in the context, the midrash the rabbis use to help understand it, that it is not seen as really a physical thing, but as something that is pervasive in our world, in our person, in our society, can be in our community, and it's one that we work to get rid of by, again, changing our words, uplifting others, and by making a difference in a positive way. So with that, we're going to go into our evening service, and we will begin on page 39a, where you will find the Baruch Hu. I'll ask, as always, if you're able to rise as we join together. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Yai da 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 da. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. You are welcome to be seated. We read together our bracha of creation on the bottom of page 39a on the left together. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzevaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. Umavir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila, Adonai Tzevaot shemo, El Chai V'Kayam Tamid Yimloch Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. We join together page 40. Avat Olam Beit Yisrael Amchavta Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu u'v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'v'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu uvahem negei yomam v'layla yomam v'layla v'ahavatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. 41. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchut Ha'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha ayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha havaderech uvshochbecha uvkumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha vehayu letotafot bein eitnecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha. We join together in the English, page 41. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all that is yours. These words that I command you this day shall be taken to heart. Teach them again and again to your children. Speak of them when you sit in your home, when you walk on your way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a symbol above your eyes. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your home and on your gates. We turn over to page 44. Umalchu Tov Ratzon, our words leading up to Mi Chamocha. Umalchu Tov Ratzon Kivlu Aleihem Moshe uMiriam uVnei Yisrael Lachanu Shira V'simcha Rabba V'yamru Chulam Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai Mi Kamocha Nedar B'Kodesh Nohara Tehilot Osefele Malchutecha Ra'uvanecha Bokei Ayam Lifnei Moshe Ze'elianu Ve'amru Adonai Imloch Le'olam Va'ed Ve'ne'emar Kifada Adonai et Yaakov Uge'alo miyad chazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. Page 45, you'll find our Hashkivenu prayer, a prayer that asks for a sense of shalom as we end our day and as we begin a new one as the evening arrives. Page 45 on the left, if you'll join with me in the reading. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel and save us for the sake of your name. Shield us. Remove from us enemies, pestilence, sword, starvation, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings. For you, God, watch over and deliver us. And you, God, are sovereign, merciful, and compassionate. Ensure our going and coming for life and peace, now and forever. May you spread over us your canopy of peace. Baruch atah Adonai, who spreads the canopy of peace over us, over all the people Israel, and over Jerusalem. Ushmor tzeitenu uvoenu l'chayim u'shalom yatav yad olam ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu v'yakol amo Yisrael v'yal Yerushalayim. Page 46, we rise as we join together in the singing of Vishamru, reminding us that we have a connection to God through the covenant of Shabbat. Page 46. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ve'heni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim v'et ha'aretz. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Middle of 46, you'll find Chatzi Kadesh. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah v'yamad yivarach yidutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael bagala uv'izman kari v'yimeru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam olam me'almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shemei dekudesha berichu le'la min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran me'alma v'yimeru amen. You'll find the silent Amidah this evening, beginning page 47, continuing through page 52. As always, feel free to use this time for your own personal thoughts and meditations to add to the words on the page. When you're through, you're welcome to be seated.
going together at the bottom of page 52. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'al 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 kol Yisrael. V'imru amen. You'll kindly turn to page 54. There you will find Kaddish Shalem. Yitkara v'yitkara shemei Rama v'yalma divrach yute v'yamlich malchute v'chayechanu v'mechanu v'chayeruch v'Yisrael ba'agala v'zman kari v'imeru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam olam me'od maya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitshma minaseh v'yitadar v'yitala v'yitalal shmei dekudesha v'richu le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata Tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran v'yama v'imeru. Amen. Titkabal tzaloton uvoton, dechol Yisrael, kol adam avoni v'shemaya v'imeru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim alenu v'yal kol Yisrael v'imeru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom. Alenu v'yal kol Yisrael, v'yal kol yoshvei tevel v'imeru. Amen. We turn forward in our Siddur to page 173. There you will find our prayer for healing, our Misha Barach for Cholim, for those who are ill. And as always, I have a list here, but if you have a name that you'd like to add, we'll go around the room and do so as we prepare to join in the singing of our Misha Barach prayer. So tonight we keep in our thoughts for healing and for health Daniel Eliezer ben Svi, Shulamit bat Gittel, Yisraela bat Zipporah, Devorah bat Avraham Vasara, Dan Siegel, Danielle Rice, Gittel Glasser, Ari Sanders, Bill Bucks, Lynn Alexander, Marjorie Morstein, Diane Hickey, Barbara Feingold, Harriet Siegel, Lori Kahan Simon, Nadine Hyman, Irene Friedman, Gary Kramer, Francis Haber, Caitlin Weathers, Danielle Santini, Julia Bernanke, Teresa Timmons, Suzanne Gott, Joan Klepp, Estelle Rice, Susan Aller, Megan Contigno, Natalie Kogan, Candace Dobro, Bernie Rowe, Esther Wiener, Joanna Levine, Barbara Berger, and Joseph Jalbert, and any other names we add. We keep them in our thoughts. And anyone else you may be thinking of, certainly, as we turn over to page 173 and we join together. Mishe beirach avotenu mikor haberacha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe beirach imotenu mikor haberacha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Refuah shlema to all in need. Amen. We turn back to page 63. 63, there you will find the bracha, the blessing for counting of the Omer. Of course, we are in the midst of the period of time where we count each day from the second night of Passover on to the, as a bridge to the holiday of Shavuot. As our ancestors brought a measure of grain, we do the counting of each day with a reminder that we have moved, or we are moving from, spiritually anyway, today from the sense of slavery that our ancestors endured in Egypt to freedom and to the covenant they received at Mount Sinai that we are entrusted with today. So again, page 63, I'll ask if you're able to, we're going to read the English followed by the Hebrew bracha on the other side of the page, and then we will pause to count the day, and they did not make it easy in our Siddur for doing this, to count the number. So you'll have to look over on the 5th of ER, which is over on page 66. It is towards the bottom of the page on page 66. So put your finger on page 66 towards the last two lines, actually second to last of the Hebrew, and then turn back to page 63. And then, just to get you confused even more, we rise. That's the custom, to do it as we're standing. Page 63, if you'll join with me as we remind ourselves of the value and purpose of counting the Omer. At the top in the English, I am about to fulfill the mitzvah of counting the Omer, as it is written in the Torah. You shall count from the eve of the second day of Pesach, when an Omer of grain is to be brought as an offering 7 complete weeks. The day after the 7th week of your counting will make 50 days. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, who has provided us with the path to holiness through the observance of mitzvot, has instructed us to count the Omer. In the Hebrew, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al sfirat ha-Omer. Again, if you'll turn over to page 66, down at the bottom, the second line from the bottom in the Hebrew, we read together, Hayom esrim yom, shehem shnei shavuot, v'shisha yamim la Omer. Today marks the 20 days. That's exactly 2 weeks and 6 days in the counting of the Omer. And again, just as we count the days, our job is to make sure we make each day of life count as well. With that, we remain standing as we turn back in our Siddur to page 56, where you will find Aleinu as we again rise as the Aron HaKodesh is opened. 56. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, Latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, alifnei melech, malchei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shehunot HaShamayim v'yoser haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinatu zo, v'gov hei meromim, hu Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu efezu lato, Kakatuv b'torato, v'yadata hayom v'hashevota el levavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim b'shamayim mima'al, v'haaretz הארץ והארץ מתחת עינו דעינו דרכן לקבל לך אדוני אלוהינו בארץ זכר כי המלכות שלך היא עולמי עד תמלוך בכבוד.
ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו echad. You are welcome to be seated. We turn to page 58. There you will find our Kaddish Atom, our Mourner's Kaddish, our affirmation of life. And as we prepare to recite Mourner's Kaddish, we keep in our thoughts those whose yortzites occur today and in the week that will be coming. Isidore Scheinberg, Sarah Schaefer, Tessie Palmer, Moses Epstein, Barbara Unger, Morris Rosenfeld, Nicholas Hyman, Louis Nachman, Bess Goldwasser, Ruth Eigenberg, Sarah Schatzberg, Gary Korf, Lillian Hewler, Israel Heller, Stephen Waugh, George Sawyer, Marvin Wishman, Edna Shaw, Ted Rice, Joseph Zenar, Logan Jones, Anna Loon, Anna Rosenberg, Annie Kaufman, Rosalind Kessler, Sam Rosenblum, Joseph Wernick, Deborah Brown, Hyman N. Kaplan, and Pauline Cedron. All those reciting Mourner's Kaddish, you'll find it on page 58. Are there any that I missed? Anyone's reciting for? Page 58. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach irute v'amlich malchute, v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam elomei omaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei dekudisha, v'richu, le'ela, min kol birchata, v'shirata, tushbechata, v'nechemata, da'amiran, v'yalma, v'imru, amen. Yehi shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu, v'yal kol Yisrael, v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu, v'yal kol Yisrael, V'imru. Amen. You are welcome to be seated. Yep. We call upon Harold Lefkowitz, our greeter, security man extraordinaire, and board member, to share some announcements. They should be up there.
Shabbos, everybody. Welcome to Beth Israel. It's good to see so many people in the house. Tonight's Oneg is sponsored by Tamar Peltro. Announcements. And by the way, if you're bored at home, then you haven't looked at your announcements, your newsletters from Beth Israel Jewish Federation. There's something going on all the time these days. Announcements. Sunday school begins at 9 a.m. and Taham Torah begins at 10:30 tomorrow. No, 10 o'clock. Tomorrow's the kids' Shabbat. CBI Book Club will meet Sunday beginning at 12:15 in the CBI Social Hall to discuss their most recent book, The Fixer, by Bernard Malamud. This Sunday, May 4th, Sisterhood is hosting a spring Mother's Day celebration at CBI from 2 to 4. Make your own drip paint pots and learn how to have a thriving Spring Garden from Alan Walcher of Country Boys Garden Center. Cost is $5 at the door. Pots, paints, and plants will be provided as well as refreshments. The next Age to Perfection is this Monday, May 5th at 11:30 a.m. at CBI. The topic will be social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. What is it? Do I need it? Do I want it? Can I get rid of it? Cost is $10 for lunch in the program. RSVP on the website or to the office. Ooh, I'll be here. Don't forget the CBI office is now closed on Monday. Tuesday through Friday, the new office hours are 8:30 to 2:30. Save the date. Join the CBI Men's Club for baseball, fun, and food. Bring the family out to the Greenville Drive game Sunday, June 8th at 3 p.m., which is that still going to be our annual congregation meeting too? So that morning, time to be arranged, so as not to conflict with drive game, we will also have our annual congregational meeting on June 8th. Tickets available for the Greenville Drive game via the CBI website. Weekly. Yes. I don't know. Maybe it's a good fundraiser, Mike. You know, pay to vote.
We'll get a timeout. They just established that, so it will be down morning, probably 11, but wait for the announcement officially.
Weekly reminder, Rabbi Cohn's class, the Home Megillah, meets this Sunday at 9:35, a little bit earlier than normal. Intermediate Hebrew with Fred Leffert will meet on Sunday at 11:10. Tuesday, Torah study class with Fred Leffert meets at 5:30 via Zoom. Please see the CBI newsletter or bulletin for more information on all these programs. Anniversaries. 5-3, Melinda and Ryan Boyd. 5-3, Rhonda and Matt Farrell. 5-5, Sheldon and Kathy Lefkowitz. Birthdays, 5-1, Harold Raban. Sue Lasser on the 2nd. The 7th is Ken Pittman. The 7th is Deanne Marie Herring. And, we don't have chocolate for you, Rabbi. The rabbis, you know where to find it? Is on the 8th. And then Mindy's is on the 10th. So make sure you contact them and wish them a happy birthday. And please join us in the back for a little kiddush and motzi. And good Shabbat, everyone.
I know where the stash is. My problem is not getting one. It's like not eating one. That's my problem. So, you know. And the other problem is, the kid's stealing it. So it's under lock and key now. So I don't get it, and he doesn't get it. Either way. You are certainly welcome to come into the back and join us for our Kiddush and Motzi. We have a few people who are new, sort of, but have been here, sort of. So welcome again, And Alex, you came in at the end last week as people were leaving, and not everybody got a chance to meet you. We're a little bit of a different crowd, actually, than last week. So please make sure you introduce yourselves to Alex and vice versa. Don't be shy, and we will, Ito's back here. He's been here a couple times, people getting to know him, right? Yep, he must come straight from work today, huh? Yep, we're glad you're here. I know you have a little bit of a drive, too, to get here, so thank you. So we're going to turn to nowhere. We're going to close our Siddur, and we are going to do a little bit of Bim Bam Shabbat Shalom. Maybe one day we'll get back into something longer, but we're all hungry for some berry Xander challah and some treats in the back. So let's join together. Bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam, bim bam bim bam, bim bam, bim 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 bam, bim 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 bam. Shabbat shalom, hey Shabbat shalom, hey Shabbat 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 shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, everyone. A new toy, another screen. Yes. 1 hour exactly. Okay, thank you on the timeline. Let's head in the back together and we'll have a little kiddish. And again, please introduce yourselves.
The front floods, there's one switch here.
Are you teaching him now?
Yes,
All right.
since he's gonna be around for a couple more years. And there's,
2 to 4 more years.
yeah, two switches on this side.
One switch.